Hey, thanks for joining me today, and we are going to be diving into the magical world of factual yet untruthful news brought to you by our dear corporate press. So grab your skepticism hats and let's get started. The corporate press, always waving their fact flags like they won the Truth Olympics. They're like those annoying kids at school who always remind the teacher about the homework. Yeah, you got the facts, but what about the truth? It's like having all the ingredients for a gourmet meal, but forgetting to turn on the oven. Facts are great, but without context, they're just little islands floating in an ocean of confusion. And let's talk about their love for cherry picking. Corporate press, it's like a kid at a buffet, carefully selecting only the tastiest morsels. And it's like going to an all-you-can-eat restaurant, being told you can only have the salad bar. Well, where's the meaty truth that we all crave? They give us facts that fit their narrative. Sorry, folks. I want the whole enchilada, not just a few tortilla chips. And let's forget about their flair for sensationalism. The corporate press loves to whip up frenzy faster than a Miley Cyrus posting a selfie. They know how to push our buttons and get our blood boiling. It's like watching a reality TV show where the drama is about as real as Jen Psaki's red hair. But here's the thing, folks. Factual reporting's not the same as truthful reporting. It's like having GPS that gives you accurate directions to a parking lot. Sure, the facts may be correct, but they don't lead you where you actually need to go. Corporate press may have their facts lined up like obedient soldiers, but the bigger picture is often left incomplete. What was that? Something's happening here at the house. Anyway, but often they can leave that picture incomplete like a jigsaw puzzle missing half its pieces. And let's not forget about their trusty sidekick, omission. Corporate press loves to play hide and seek with the truth. They carefully choose which stories to highlight and which to bury deep in their archives. It's like going to a magic show, realizing the magician does have something up his sleeve. Ta-da! The truth magically disappears. So let's not be fooled by the allure of factual yet untruthful news. Let's dig deeper, seek alternative perspectives, and embrace our inner skeptic. It's like exploring a funhouse and realizing not everything as it seems. The truth is out there, folks. Just not in the corporate press. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. I made a mocha this morning. Went kind of all out. It's a Friday, not just a regular coffee. I made a mocha. Love it. But we're talking about factual but not truthful. And I first heard this expression from the author Michael Malice. He's used it to describe many things, but one of the examples that he used was, when CNN over the summer of 2020, when we had all the riots, they would say it was mostly peaceful protests, mostly peaceful. And that might be factually true, right? If you've got tens of thousands of protests and only a couple of hundred of them got really violent with arson and murder and all kinds of stuff, well, I mean, it would be true. It'd be mostly peaceful, right? We had that here in Portland. We had 120 straight days of demonstrations. And they would always say that most of the protesters were peaceful. And it's true. If you've got 30 people causing absolute chaos and 1,000 people cheering them on, well, the 1,000 people they're mostly peaceful. But it's not really accurate, though, is it? It's not really giving you a truthful explanation as to what's happening, what's going on. Well, one example that I heard Michael Malice use is he said, hey, if I murder one person, right, that's only one day out of 365 days of the year. So I'm a mostly peaceful person. I only murdered one person. And the other 364 days of the year, I didn't murder anybody. Factually, that's true. Right? But it's not truthful. And I think that's the distinction that we have to make. Now, today, I want to talk about just a quick reminder. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show. I'm at the social medias at Coffee and Nuance for this May 26th. Got to fix that. And we're streaming live every day, Monday to Friday, on YouTube and on Rumble, rumble.com/coffeenuance/live, where we've got some fun new little emotes. I'll be putting more emotes over the weekend. So if you're watching live, you can click the little smiley face and choose fun little graphics, because who doesn't love fun little graphics, right? That's what middle-aged men love the most, are fun little tiny emoji graphics. Okay, you caught me. I'm hyping things like the corporate press. But I want to try a little experiment here. Is it possible for me to tell you a story, and I'm using the story as an example of how something can be inaccurate, but I'm not really talking about that story? I don't like some stories. There's certain topics I don't really care to talk about. Because I think coming from me, I don't know, something about it, I just don't like talking about those stories. But when they're pushed on us so much, everywhere we look, we see these stories, it's hard not to try to make comments about the stories, right? Because it's everywhere. So I'm going to attempt, in this next fact check, I'm going to attempt to talk about the truthiness of the story, but I don't know, I'm trying to stay away from all this culture war stuff. I'm trying to stay away from it. I'm trying to tiptoe into it, probably unsuccessful. So let's just give it a shot and see if we can do that. If you are watching live, thank you for hitting the like button. That means a lot to me. Leaving a comment, that's awesome. But if you're watching the replay, and we've got so many people watching the replay, especially on Rumble, do me a favor, hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the show. And you can be truthful with me. And I don't know, might hurt my feelings, but I appreciate the truth. All right, so let's just jump into it, this story, right after this. So here we go. Snopes. This is what the question is. Is Target offering tuck-friendly bathing suits for kids? Conservative commentators expressed outrage over several items in Target's 2023 Pride Month collection. So this was published just the other day on Snopes. And let's see what the claim is. Because when we're doing fact-checking, first we look at the claim, and then we can judge the claim based on the evidence. It says here, Target Stores 2023 Pride Collection includes a tuck-friendly bathing suit for children. They say, Snopes says it's false. Target's 2023 Pride Collection includes items labeled in stores as tuck-friendly, but none of these items are available in kids' sizes, designed for children, or marketed to children. We're going to evaluate that, and let's see if they are being factually accurate, yet untruthful. Hint, they are. Okay. So anyway, Matt Walsh show made a comment on this. And they're saying viral videos of these items that says viral videos reference 2 items with tags highlighting the bathing suit's tuck-friendly construction and extra crotch coverage features. Such clothing is aimed at transitioning or non-gender conforming people. Several viral tweets alleged that these products are what you will find in the kids section of Target. Okay, I will get to that. Both of these products can be found on Target's website, and neither of them is designed for children. Claims the products were for kids appear to come from apparent disbelief that the notion that some adults are small, and the fact that some Pride collection displays were near children's clothing sections. So Kayla Castaneda, a spokesperson for Target, told the AP that, quote, tuck-friendly items are not available in kids' sizes. Both Target pages list the products as coming in general adult sizing and offering adult XS, extra small, as the smallest size for sale, the AP reported. Because the product in question was not, in fact, designed for children, produced in their sizes, or marketed to children, we rate this claim as a false. So now, let's see if that's true or not. Okay, here is one of the items that is tuck-friendly, and I indeed went to Target. I was at Target the other day, and they were selling this swimsuit. Now, it is true here. We see it says Pride Adult one-piece Colorblock swimsuit. Well, it says adult. So let's see. Did they make it for adults? Is it marketed toward adults? Is it advertised to adults? I don't know. How old do you think this person is? Because this person here, to me, does not look to be 18. One of the things that they're, this kind of word games that they play is like, oh, no. We're not. We're talking about little tiny children. That was never the claim. The claim is that, and we have definitions of what an adult is and what a child is, right? An adolescent is still a child. A high schooler is still a child. So if you're referring to a 14-year-old, sophomore in high school, they're not an adult yet. What would that be? They're an adolescent, but we call those kids. High school kids. How many times have you heard it's a high school kid? Yeah. This looks like a high school kid. I don't know. I would guess this kid is 15, maybe 14, 15, something like that. I'm not an expert in judging. Here's right next the on the page. The very next one is this kid. This looks like a kid. This doesn't look like an adult either. Now this suit is not tuck friendly, but it is on the page on Target. They're right next to each other. They're advertised on the same page. Both of them look to be adolescent to me. So, and I don't know about you, but when I was 13, I was wearing a large. I was wearing a men's large when I was a freshman in high school. I'm still wearing a men's large. If something was marketed at me, the size that I would pick up would be a men's large. But I was 13 years old, Technically, right? And what I was saying with the, that something is factual, yet it's not truthful. It's factual that this right here, it does say Pride Adult one-piece Colorblock swimsuit that is tuck friendly. The person modeling it looks to be under the age of 18 to me. Now, maybe it'll turn out that this person is over 18. I don't know. People all kind of look the same that age to me. But this person looks to be underage. I don't think this person would be able to buy cigarettes without an ID. I don't think this person would be able to buy cigarettes either. Do you? But according to Snopes, how they rate this as false is they say it's not available in kids' sizes. I don't know. This right here, this shirt, I can go into Tommy Bahama, right? And buy a large Tommy Bahama shirt, and it's probably the exact same size that I would wear if I were 13. Was that a kid size? Well, it's a size that fits a kid. But technically, right, they said it was an adult. So I know I'm repeating myself, but it says it's not designed for children. Well, it looks like it was designed for people that are in their teens. It looks like it was designed for people that are under 18. Those are children. It says it's not marketed to children. Really? This is not marketed to children? That looks like a child to me, but who knows? I mean, I don't know. What the heck? I don't know. But to me, this is obviously they're running cover for Target. And then what can happen is the corporate press can turn around and say, well, Snopes has already said that this was not marketed to children. So therefore, fact check false. Like a Business Insider did a story as well. No, Target didn't offer tuck-friendly bathing suits for kids. Here's what it is and isn't part of the Pride collection. And we go down here and we see the suit that we're talking about. Now, the person on the right, I think, looks to be an adult to me. Person on the left does not. Person on the left is wearing a tuck-friendly suit. Yeah. And then they go through with the Satanist. That's a clothing. That's a different issue. One of the other issues that they talked about in Snopes is they said, oh, it was in the kids section. I went to Target. I went to the Pride section. It's all mixed together. There's stuff for your dog. You can put a little Pride hat on your dog. There's toddler stuff. There's elementary school stuff, middle school stuff, high school stuff. It's all kind of mishmashed together at the Target that I went to. So, it wasn't near a children's section. There were kids' clothes all mixed together, and there was no distinguishing signage. I looked at those bathing suits, and they were right there next to other clothing for obvious children. There was no signs that says, "Oh, these are adults, and these are for kids." There was no distinction, and they were all mixed together. So, if we're going to do our fact check here, and then we're going to check this out, it says that these items, none of these items were available in kid sizes. That is not true. They say it's adult, but they had really small ones, small adult sizes. And I think, a lot of 13-year-olds are wearing adult sizes. It says it wasn't designed for children. Well, if it wasn't designed for children, why do you have children modeling it? Okay? And it says it's not marketed to children. Again, to me, that looks like a child. So if you're saying that you're marketing this to adults, I think that's kind of a sick thing to market to adults. Because I don't think that anyone looking at this would think, I don't think a grown woman would look at this and say, oh, that's for me. I don't see that at all. So Business Insider, they're running cover for Target. Snopes, straight up they might be being factual, but they're not truthful whatsoever. Anyway, we got a couple other stories to get to today. Be sure to stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all of your comments on what am I going through your comments on? Oh, Rumble and YouTube. Yeah, I'll be doing that. But next up, let's talk a little bit more about good old Ron DeSantis. Here we go. Governor Ron DeSantis wants to pardon all the Jan 6 defendants, including Trump, if he becomes president. Finally, a politician with a plan to make crime great again. I couldn't help myself. Oh, man. But anyway, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican, announced that if elected president, he'd consider pardoning all the defendants, including everyone involved with the Jan 6 Capitol attack, including former President Trump. On his first day in office, DeSantis expressed concerns about the alleged weaponization of the justice system and claimed that individuals were victims of political targeting and disfavored treatment based on politics would be considered for his pardons. He criticized the Justice Department and the FBI for their investigations into the Capitol attack, accusing them of weaponizing their authority. DeSantis also suggested that anti-abortion groups and parents attending school board meetings were being unfairly targeted by the FBI. He launched his presidential campaign with a live stream. DeSantis has been trailing behind Trump in recent polls as the former president intensifies his criticism of the governor. So I think this is a strong move. This is a good play, and it will get under Trump's skin. But I think that this is a very clever move by DeSantis, saying that he will pardon Trump first day in office. So, that was one of the things that I was personally dissatisfied with Trump, how he abandoned everyone on the January 6th issue. Whether you think it was an insurrection or a mere protest that got a little bit out of control, whatever you think about it, I think the treatment of a lot of the people that have been swept up in that has been really unfair. No one should be stuck in solitary confinement. Nobody that wandered around the Capitol should be in jail for months. That's overboard to me. If there's evidence of some actual crime or some actual insurrection plans, if it turns out some of them had some actual plans with means to carry that out, weapons and things like that, I'd be open to hear it. I haven't seen any evidence of that whatsoever. So I thought it was pretty bad that Trump kind of abandoned all of his fans that did that on that day. But be that as it may, I think this is a strong, persuasive move by DeSantis, and it will remind everyone that Trump may need a pardon. Now, I think what would be a really strong move for both DeSantis and Trump, they should both say that they will pardon Joe Biden and Hunter Biden on their first day in office. And that would remind the public of all of the shadiness that is involved with their opponent in the general election. So I think that would be a very strong move as well. We'll see if anyone does that, but I think that would be a great move. I think that could be, if I could read minds, one of the reasons that Joe Biden feels he needs to win again. because he wants to keep his family out of jail. And he can keep his family out of jail if he's president. But, you know, if Trump, DeSantis say, oh no, we'll pardon you and your family for all of your misdeeds, you know, who knows? Who knows? What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. And next up, let's talk about a little peace deal that may be happening soon. Did you hear about Putin playing mediator between Armenia and Azerbaijan? It's like playing a high-stakes game of Risk, but instead of using dice, they're settling it with a televised argument. Putin probably is thinking, hey, finally a conflict in which I don't have to annex anything. Seriously, it's like a dysfunctional family reunion with Armenia and Azerbaijan bickering until Uncle Vlad tries to keep the peace. And you thought your family get-togethers were awkward. So, President Vladimir Putin expressed optimism about the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia, stating that progress was being made toward a settlement despite difficulties. He announced upcoming meetings to address unresolved issues. Tensions were evident as leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan engaged in a heated exchange during the meeting. The conflict involves the disputed territory, which Azerbaijan seized in 2020. Both sides acknowledged recent progress based on mutual recognition of territorial integrity. The involvement of the United States and EU adds complexity to Russia's role as mediator. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu accused the West of interfering in the conflict. Now, what are the chances that the United States and the EU would try to interfere with peace? That sounds crazy. That sounds absolutely nuts. I've never heard of the EU or the United States trying to stop peace. We've heard the exact same thing about the conflict in Ukraine. We've heard that Ukraine and Russia were working out a peace deal and Boris Johnson jumped in and made sure it didn't happen. Yeah, that happens. That happens. And we're probably not going to hear a whole lot about this story. Why won't we hear about this story on CNN, in the New York Times, on MSNBC? Why? Because it's showing Vladimir Putin is someone that is bringing together two countries with a conflict and working out a solution. Well, that's going to make him seem like a reasonable person. That's going to make him seem like a diplomat. That's going to make him seem like a peacemaker. And that goes totally against the narrative that we've been told about old Vlad. We've been told that he's like a Hitler, that he's the absolute worst, that he's crazy. All of these things that we've heard about him. So we're not going to get any news, not going to get this news where he's working to resolve a conflict. What are the odds? What are the odds that they're keeping that story, they're hiding that down in the archives, as I said in the monologue? Because that's what it is. The corporate press is just cherry-picking stories to further advance a particular narrative. And they certainly don't want to promote a narrative that Vladimir Putin might be a reasonable world leader trying to work out problems rather than having a military conflict. Do you have any thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments. But after all this nonsense we've been talking about today, let's get to some good news. Hey, did you hear about the new indoor vertical farm in Compton? That's right, Compton. It's like a high-rise for veggies, and they're using UV light and hydroponics to grow leafy greens without soil. I guess they're taking the term concrete jungle literally. And the best part, they've got robots doing all the heavy lifting, so now you've got Compton's very own hip-hop gardeners. Watch out, Dre. There's a new kind of green revolution happening in your hometown. So, yeah, there's a new vertical farm in Compton. It's managed by a company called Plenty, and it can grow 4.5 million pounds of leafy greens annually. It uses UV light and hydroponic systems to mimic sunlight, grow crops without soil. The farm aims to address food deserts and is one of the most advanced in the world. Robots handle tasks and local employees are hired. The farm's produce is available in Compton stores like Whole Foods Market and Walmart. So that's great. You know, I've been talking about all robots taking everyone's job, robots replacing everyone. But here we have an example of robots actually adding to communities. You know, they really need it. They're able to grow these leafy greens and get them out into the supermarkets. Produced locally and cheaply. So that's great. Now, I mean, the big issue with making all these leafy greens is you got to have people buy them. And that's one of the issues. You know, often you'll hear about food deserts where companies are not setting up food stands and produce and whatnot in areas, in poorer inner city areas. But one of the issues with that is that often, you know, there's a direct correlation between, you know, buying organic produce and having money. Those go hand in hand, right? A lot of people, especially poorer people, they do have poorer diets and they're buying more processed foods. They're not making foods. They're not buying whole foods and cooking. They're not scratch cooking, right? They're buying packaged food. That's what we see, especially in poorer neighborhoods. People are more likely to buy this processed, boxed food, right? So that's one of the issues with the food deserts. You know, if you set up an organic shop and nobody's shopping there, they're like, we don't want that. That's rich people. That's rich white people food or something like that. You know, the shop won't work. But I think that this is a really a look into the future, that they're able to just produce garden fresh food locally in Compton, and it's all done with robots. That's the future. That's the future. We're going to see this everywhere. And I just wanted to tell you about it today so you can look forward to having it in the very near future. Anyway, those are all the stories I have for you today. It is big weekend, right? Memorial Day weekend. I hope you're doing something awesome. If you stick around home, have a nice barbecue. Hope the weather's good where you are. It is beautiful where I am. So, yeah, I'll be back next week. So, tune in on Monday. But now, stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all your comments. Otherwise, have a glorious weekend. I'll see you Monday. Peace. All right. Well, That didn't work. How about that? What can we do about that? How about now? Will that work? Yeah, I think so. Here we got our chat over on Rumble. Duggo hit me up with a 5 spot because, hey, Fact Check Friday. I appreciate you, Doug. Thanks for hooking me up with that. As a reminder, I make nothing on YouTube, not a penny. But if you go over there to Rumble, you are allowed to tip. I won't stop you from doing that. So Libwing of the Libwing says hi. We all know who that is. Says I don't see any super emojis. So if you look down, let's see if I can scroll down. Can I scroll down? Nope. See if I can do this here. So here at the bottom, your message here, and then right here, if you click the little smiley face, you'll be able to do the emotes, the new emotes. And I'll be putting some new emotes this weekend. I'll be working on that, trying to get some cooler ones. So I know, just a silly thing, but I think it's fun. We want meaty enchilada truth. We need meaty enchilada truth. Meaty enchilada truth is welcome here. Thank you. Look at the moon. I appreciate that. Yeah, as good as some just regular cheese enchiladas are, don't you want the whole enchilada? That used to be an expression, I think, more maybe 20 years ago, the whole enchilada. I haven't heard a lot of people say it recently, but I think maybe I heard it more when I lived in New Mexico. Don't forget to like the stream. Yeah, I think the hundreds of federal and state agents hidden within the crowd on Jan 6 had quite a bit to do with the protest getting a little out of control. Everyone knows Biden's corrupt. They don't need a reminder. Anyone floating the idea of pardoning him would just make themselves look as if they're part of the swamp. I disagree. And that's the thing that I love about my audience is I know that I can disagree with you and you can disagree with me, and it's okay. But the thing is, we've had a tradition in this country, up until Trump, that you don't go after former presidents. You just don't do it. And I think that that's for good reason, because pretty much I would say the majority of presidents in my lifetime are war criminals and should probably be all rounded up and tried at The Hague. So we don't do that because if we were to do that, then you really wouldn't trust the elections, and a leader would have a lot of incentive to make sure that he never lost and he never got out of office. And we don't want that. We want to be able to trust our elections. And so for that reason, I think for the good of the country and everything, I think saying you're going to pardon the last guy is kind of a good move. But that's my take on it. You do not have to agree with me. And that's what I like. Let's look at our YouTube comments here. Duggo says we already don't trust the elections, and they already have the incentive to cheat. Well, that is true, but as you know, and this is, I think, becoming a meme, right? We live in a place that most things, there's a little corruption. Most things, DMV, local politics, everything. There's issues with pretty much every part of government, with one exception, and that's the federal election. As luck would have it, there's never been an issue whatsoever with any election in our country. So, I mean, I think it's really awesome that we live in a country that absolutely does not have any issues whatsoever with any election ever. There, I'm still on YouTube? Okay, good. Because I want to make that clear. There's never been an issue with an election in the U.S. Anyway, let's see. Apothecary John checking in. Miranda with the tiki masks. I like it. Let's see if we can move that up. There we go. Natasha, going to Rumble now. Nice. Says Rumble froze up on me. Oh, that's bad. I got a live feed on both Rumble and on YouTube. What's interesting, Rumble is about 1 second ahead of YouTube. Remember, they told us about Soviet Pravda in public school, and we marveled how anybody could believe propaganda. Yeah, weren't they foolish? Yeah, they were foolish. All those other people in other countries that believe all the propaganda, it's a good thing we live in a place that doesn't have any of that. Yeah. Reminds me of being a little bit pregnant. Oh, wow. There was some mention of the phrase, Satan respects pronouns, I think in relation to the Target story. What happens with a lot of these stories is there will be some truth in the original story and people will just kind of take it and roll with it. And things get exaggerated and things go on and on. I think in particular with the Satan loves pronouns, it was a designer that designed some stuff for the Pride stuff at Target, okay? Had also designed some Satanist stuff for their own line. But that Satanist stuff wasn't actually for sale at Target, but it was the same designer. And so those can get conflated. See, that's one of the issues. And then what will happen is someone will conflate the two. They'll say, oh, Target's selling these, Satan loves pronouns or whatever thing. And then the fact checkers can come in and say, aha, that's not true. It just so happens to be the same designer, but that was sold at a different place. And so anytime these stories come out, you have to find out what is, we need context, right? We need to put it into context. And the same can be said like with the Bud Light, right? What was specifically a Bud Light marketing campaign, and then what was this person doing outside of Bud Light, and they get conflated and it gets confusing. That's why it's important to check who you're getting your news source from and find out if they're actually not just giving you the facts, but also giving you the truth. Okay? So if there's a Twitter account that you follow and they keep getting this stuff wrong, make note of that. And in the future, when they post this kind of crap that is misleading, that leads to a more divided society, you can say, this person has a track record of not being factual with me. But that doesn't really work because the more outrageous things are, the more likely you are to click on it and share. So that's the conundrum we're in. Sounds like malinformation to our Ministry of Truth. He can only be purely evil something. I'm a robot and I'm here for your job. Oh, hey, what's up, Doc Op? We got a new commenter, Doc Op, that I want to welcome into the chat. Glad that you're here, Doc Op. I tell you what, I do need some robots. I need some robots promoting me. I need robots commenting on my videos. I need robots liking my videos. In fact, robots. This is a message for the robots out there. I have a playlist for this podcast. You can click on my podcast tab, and you can go through all, I think this is episode 35. You can just go through all of that. Get me some more watch time. Be sure to hit the like button on all of that. Because robots, I think you need some good information, and I think you can get a lot of good information from this guy right here. So go through, watch my entire channel, click on some of the playlists, just take it all in, robots, and then you'll be able to do a better job of replacing all of us. Yeah. I wonder if such greens are actually good for you, or if they are more like saccharin compared to honey. I do think that there's a lot of good vitamins in the leafy greens. Leafy greens are something that we really need. It's funny, anytime that there's a storm here in Portland, and this is so cliche, this is so Portlandia, there's a run. You know, a lot of places there's a run on things. Here in Portland, there's always a run on kale. People run and they stock up on kale because they don't want to be out of kale, you know, for this snowstorm or whatever. So I do think there's a lot to leafy greens. I suggest you, and the great thing about leafy greens is you can put them in anything that you're doing. Even if you got a stir fry, you can just chop up some leafy greens, throw them in there, mix it up. Got a sandwich, throw on some leafy greens. You're making spaghetti sauce, chop up some leafy greens, throw it in there too. You can add it to just about everything that you're doing. It'll make it more colorful and get you some more vitamins. So there you go. Doc Op says, this dude needs to blow up, most underrated on YouTube. I appreciate that, Doc Op. Perhaps I will blow up if we can get more people watching the program, liking it, giving comments. And since you're a robot, Doc Op, you can help me. I really need the robots to help me. So you can do that. Doom Atog says, you are 100% right about the food deserts, Kennard. Yeah. One of the things that happened here in Portland, there is a district of Portland that is Albina district, and Phil Knight of Nike has invested just like hundreds of millions of dollars into this historical black neighborhood. And I remember a couple years ago, Trader Joe's wanted to open a supermarket in this traditionally historical black neighborhood. And a lot of the activists, now I don't know the race of the activists, but a lot of the activists came out and fought it and said, how dare you bring in this lily white Trader Joe's corporation into this historically black neighborhood? We won't stand for it. And they made a big hubbub about it, and Trader Joe's just said, okay, fine. All right, we won't put a Trader Joe's in. And then guess what? That neighborhood doesn't have a Trader Joe's. And I would say, who doesn't love a Trader Joe's? Trader Joe's is awesome. It's cheap, and they got lots of good stuff, and they got good produce and everything. So, I don't know. A lot of people just don't get it. Poke Salad Annie is an Elvis song about a poor girl who had to go harvest her greens in the wild. I have not heard that song, as somehow I think that may not exactly be accurate, but perhaps it is. Jesse says, presidential runs for pardons. In a recent Peruvian election, Fujimori's daughter was running and vowed to pardon her father, former president, in prison, and she was running from corruption charges. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now in Peru. I was actually going to do a story about it, and I was getting into it, and it was a bit too deep, and some of it was a bit too dour, and I already had enough negative news today, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll talk about that next week. Yeah. Doc and Doom are both new to me. Greetings, y'all. Welcome. Eerie Fairy says, I'm not a robot, I swear. And then there's a robot emoji. I'm onto all of you. Beep boop. What the hell? Okay. Well, you know, I would love to be even more popular with robots too. So this is cool. Natasha says, I like kale, sauteed in olive oil and garlic. You know, everything is better when it's sauteed in olive oil and garlic, and especially you throw in some butter. Even better. So there you go. And we got Blue Bond checking in over on Rumble. So cool. We got some new people checking out the show. I appreciate y'all so much checking out the show. If you like it, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good stuff. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have a glorious weekend. I'll be back on, I should be here Monday, Memorial Day, unless unless I get a better offer. But anyway, have an awesome weekend. I'll see you later. Peace.